And what's really brought me to empathy, because military culture and social media culture almost work in and of the same. We're telling each other that this is only acceptable if you do it this way. And a
Mm.
lot of people have a lot of stories to tell that they're kind of just bottling inside, just waiting on someone to ask. Just the simple act of asking,
Mhm.
has true impact.
Yeah. Catherine, I wanted to ask you, because you said, you mentioned that you were spending a lot of time with like military populations and like working with men. I wanted to understand and learn a little bit about like, why did you choose that group, or what kind of drew you to working with them?
RJ, to be honest, the experience found me. I wasn't looking for it.
Mm.
And I'm very grateful for it. So, around during the Obama administration, there was a big push for Black people to go into federal employment.
Okay, right.
And I had the unique experience right after I graduated college to get a job overseas in Japan on a military base.
Wow.
And so when I took that, there I was, jumping into a culture that I knew nothing about. Like, as a Texan, everyone's like, oh, there's somehow the veteran population in your lineage, but for me there was none. So I had to quickly learn the military culture, the language alone, and their experience, and just the way they're trained and the way they think and the
Mhm.
age that they're recruited it was interesting for me. What I found was that, as an outsider, so to speak, someone with no background in military culture and very little understanding, I was very well received,
Beautiful.
because I kind of came in destigmatizing everything, really seeing them, I like to call it, behind the uniform.
Yeah.
And so they were like, oh, there's someone that I don't have to approach a certain way or speak a certain way to,
Right.
or think, how's this going to affect my career? If I tell them this, everyone's going to know and it's going to go into my record. So what I found was, when I came into this space blindly, it could have went really bad, but it actually worked in my favor, because they were like, oh, I can really talk to this person because they see me for who I am,
Yeah.
and it's not going to go nowhere because they're basically ignorant, to this culture, so to speak. So, and what I found was, I learned a lot about masculinity, and a lot about hiding your emotions, and a lot about having to present a certain way, and
Hmm.
mask your true feelings, and be uniform, and subscribe to the culture that someone tells you you have to subscribe to, and behave the way a
Yeah.
person tells you you have to behave a certain way, and to take the job and do the work and fit the narrative that someone tells you you have to fit. So I I also, a lot of them were between the ages of 18 and 24. So there's a lot of identity formation happening. And
Oh yeah.
it's a very young age to come in and say, here's your identity. Take this and follow this. I'm stripping you away from your family and telling you how to dress, where to work, how to work, when to show up, how to do it, how to talk, how to address people, and then there's that ranking structure of, you
Hmm.
treat this person this way because of this shirt they wear, you treat this person this way because of this shirt they wear. And so I was in there as a Trojan horse, just breaking everything, just saying, I was approaching them like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, what's your goal in life? And they were like, oh, well, I already do what I do. This is my job in the military. I was like, no, who are you? And just asking that simple question, who are you? It had a lot of impact with that culture. It had a
Oh yeah.
lot of impact with that population. It made them think, you know what, I am someone who can dream and who can decide who I want to be. So that experience taught me a lot. And what's really brought me to empathy, because military culture and social media culture almost work in and of the same. we're telling each other that this is only acceptable if you do it this way. And a
Mm,
lot of people have a lot of stories to tell that they're kind of just bottling inside, just waiting on someone to ask. Just the simple act of asking,
mhm.
has true impact. So yeah, I love that question. And like I said at the beginning, I didn't choose this population. It chose me, and it was an amazing 6-year experience. I go
That's
back and
awesome.